Welcome to the Brand and Bloom podcast, where we build boldly and bloom fully. I'm your host, Ebony Rose, social media consultant, and your biggest cheerleader as you grow your brand from the inside out. Each week, we're diving into honest conversations, practical tips, and inspiring stories to help you show up real, rooted, and ready to thrive. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Brand and Bloom podcast. I am your host, Ebony Rose, and it's been a minute since we've had I think it's been 2 weeks since we've had an episode. So not too long, but it's been a minute. My goal is to try to do an episode each week for you all, just to kind of like give you some other tips. Now, if you are following me on YouTube, you know that I have been going live every single day at 1 p.m. And it's been amazing. I've done it in February. I'm doing it in March. I probably will only do like one episode a week moving forward. But things have been progressing. I'm very, very happy with, how things have been going. I did do an episode 2 weeks ago on my experience going live every day for a month. So if you did not listen to that podcast, I highly encourage you to go listen to it. And I believe the episode before that was talking about starting over and how it was the best decision I ever made. And this is a new episode, and I have just been so proud of myself and, following through, being consistent. And we don't talk about that or hype ourselves up enough when we see progress with our own journey, with our business. And I believe that that is very, very important, especially as an entrepreneur, small business owner. We have to stop, pause, reflect on our journey, on what we've accomplished. We're not going to be where we want to be, right? But we need to acknowledge the fact that we are still moving forward. We are still progressing. We are still showing up. Like, that is such a big thing nowadays, is to actually show up for yourself, show up for your brand, show up for your business. That is how you bloom in your brand. And that was part of the reason why I named this podcast the Brand and Bloom podcast, because we talk about brands, we talk about blooming within yourself, within your brand. So it all comes together, right? So I just wanted this episode to kind of be like an encouragement to somebody who might be listening, that if you are in a place right now where you're like trying to figure things out, trying to figure out if you're making progress, trying to figure out if things are moving in the right direction that you want them to move in. You're doing all the things, you're showing up, you are being consistent, being dedicated, and practicing discipline. This episode is definitely for you, because we do not take enough time to encourage ourselves, to uplift ourselves. We may not get all of that encouragement and uplifting from others, and we need to encourage ourselves a lot of the time, right? Especially me. Like, I'll just give you a little bit about my experience. I am a mom. I'm a wife, I'm a minister, I'm a business owner, I am a sister, I am a friend, I am a daughter, and there's a lot of hats. I'm a content creator. Like, there's a lot of hats that I wear. And, a lot of times, people see that, oh, she's doing X, Y, and Z. She's good. She doesn't need encouragement because she's already doing it. But there's a lot of times where people with all of those hats, they may not have anyone to encourage them. They may not have someone to pat them on the back and say, you're doing a good job, right? So you can't assume all the time that somebody that's out here doing all the things and showing up for themselves, killing it on social media, killing it with their business, killing it with everything else that they have in their hands. We have to, if it's on our heart, reach out to someone and tell them, you're doing a great job. I noticed you. I noticed what you're doing. I see what you're doing. You're doing a great job. It is okay to hype each other up, right? So that's my message today. That is my message today for the business owner, for the entrepreneur, for the content creator, for, the influencer. You are doing a good job. I am all about encouraging brands, especially small brands that are just starting out, to be as consistent as you can be in the beginning. The momentum is going to come, and then you're going to start seeing the manifestation of all of your hard work. I cannot even begin to tell you how excited I am with the progress that I'm making. So now I have a few different platforms and quote unquote businesses that I'm working on. And I have been focusing on posting every day, or if I don't post every day, I post at least 3 or 4 times a week, but lately it's been every day that I've been posting, whether it's in my stories or on my feed or, making a reel. But I am being very intentional about showing up and continually building my platforms, because if you're consistent, the momentum comes, right? So I just want to encourage you as small business owners to continue to show up, continue to post. Don't even think about it twice. Just post it, rip off that Band-Aid, and post whatever it is that you are thinking of. If it's a funny video, post it. If it's a business tip, post it. If it's a behind the scenes, post it, okay? We have this opportunity in front of us to get out there to people that are always constantly on their phones, always on social media. And we have this opportunity to just post and share what we enjoy, what we love doing, and the business that we're trying to promote, especially if you're a business owner. We need social media in this day and age. We truly, truly need social media in this day and age, and we cannot be afraid of visibility if we're trying to be out there, and we want people to know what it is that we're doing, right? So don't count yourself short in this season. Don't count yourself short in this week. You are thriving. You are going to make it. I believe in each and every one of you that come across this episode. I know that it's hard out here sometimes, and I know that sometimes you may not even feel like showing up. And on my YouTube channel, I have so many videos where I talk about that, where we need to show up for our business. That was the topic for last month, showing up for your business, where I talked every single day about ways that you can show up for your business, right? And I also talked about a little bit, I touched on it, that we're not going to feel like it all the time. We are not going to be up to par every single day to show up for our business. Clear example today, the day that I'm recording this, I woke up, I didn't know what day it was. I was all over the place. I was discombobulated. It was so dark in my room because I have the dark out curtains, and I also had my sleep mask on. And I went to bed a little bit late, but I woke up, I was discombobulated. I didn't know what time it was. I didn't know if it was dark outside still or light outside still. I wasn't feeling good. And I woke up and I said, okay, I had so much to do. And I had to push through because I am seeing the future, right? I'm looking towards the goal and not worrying about how I feel in the moment. Because if I allow how I feel in every moment to determine whether or not I'm going to show up, I'm never going to get to where I want to go, right? I also, in my bedroom, I have this framed quote that says, no matter how you feel, get up, dress up, show up, and never give up. So that is what I'm telling you, because we're not always going to feel like showing up. We're not always going to feel like showing up. Now, I also believe that we need to give ourselves breaks. Like I just recently said, for me, I'm not going to go live for my other business on Saturday and Sunday, right? Because I'm giving myself a break. I go hard during the week, and that's okay. We need to implement breaks in our week as well, right? Because we are human. We do need to rest. Our bodies need to refuel. Our bodies need to regenerate. We need to make sure we're putting things in our bodies that will promote us to be able to work and do all the things that we need to do. So we have to keep all of that in mind. But no matter how you feel, there's 2 things I want you to take from this episode today. First one is, make sure you pat yourself on the back for the progress that you've made, whether it's this week, whether it's this month, whether it's just this year. We are in March, and you could have made so much progress in these first 3 months, and you haven't even stopped to recognize that yet. So I want you to stop And I want you to recognize the progress that you've made. And I want you to celebrate somehow, whether you get yourself a coffee, get a massage, or do whatever it is that you need to do to celebrate that time that you have put in this whole year or this whole week. Pat yourself on the back. That is the first thing I want you to take away from this episode. And the second thing I want you to take away is no matter how you feel, get up, get dressed, show up, and never give up. No matter how you are feeling, you have to always keep your mind set on the goal that you placed for yourself. You have a vision that you want to see accomplished. The mission is how you get there, okay? And the mission does not include us being lazy and letting our feelings determine how we show up for ourselves and our businesses, right? We need to bloom. We need to bloom so much so that people are starting to get touched by our brands, touched by our businesses, okay? That is our goal for this year, to execute, to be disciplined, and to be consistent. That is all I have. So thank you for tuning in for this episode. I really, really hope you enjoyed it. I am going to I'll see you on YouTube if you're watching my videos every day at 1. And if not, I will be back with another episode, hopefully next week. Talk to you later. Thanks for listening to the Brand and Bloom podcast. If this episode spoke to you, be sure to follow, leave a review, and share it with a friend who's building their own bold, blooming brand. You can always find me at ebonyrose.com or over on Instagram at ebonydrose. Until next time, stay rooted, stay real, and keep blooming.